Are you confused about which supplements you should be taking and why you're even taking them in the first place? Today I'm going to give you a completely unbiased opinion from someone that's not trying to sell you anything, isn't sponsored by any supplement company. I'm going to show you my supplement stack, tell you why it aids me with my training performance, and then you can decide whether or not you think it's beneficial for you. So let's get into it. The first one that I'm going to show you is the OG of supplements, whey protein. And this is quite simple. This is just to make sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet every day in order to build new muscle tissue or preserve muscle mass when you're cutting down. So for someone like me, I aim to eat 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight every day, which is around about 200 to 220 grams of protein. So in order to make sure that I have everything topped up in the right place, I have my protein shake to make sure my macros are right. Now, it's quite a high protein, low calorie option, so it kind of fits into your diet whether you're bulking or cutting. And you can get standard whey protein like me, or you can get a whey protein isolate. Whey protein isolate is better for digestion. So if you get gassy and kind of bloated, could be a good idea. However, I've never had a problem digesting whey protein, so I go for the cheaper option, which is this one. The next one I recommend highly is Creatine Monohydrate. So this is one of the most researched supplements out there, and it aids in building power and strength, okay? It gives your muscles energy during high intensity training, such as weightlifting. So your training volume can increase over time, you get better performance, which will lead to strength gains, which will lead to muscle growth. So I highly recommend it. It's also good for hydration. It will draw water into the muscle cells, which again, hydration will aid performance. So another benefit. And you don't have to take too much of this. So 5 grams a day, every day, is what they recommend, which is what I take. If you haven't taken creatine for a long time, or you haven't taken it before, most of the packaging will say that you need to do a loading phase, which normally is around about 5 grams, 4 times a day for the first week or two. Personally, I wouldn't bother. Okay, if you're taking 5 grams daily, it will soon build up in your system, and then you're good to go. I take the creatine monohydrate powder, which is unflavored, just because it's the cheapest. You can get flavored ones, which are more expensive, or gummies. But as long as you mix it in with something, which is what I'm going to show you next, then this is the one that I would recommend. So the next one I take is a electrolyte tablet, which I take first thing in the morning, and that's what I mix my creatine in with. Okay, so creatine, you can take it any time of the day that suits you. You're not going to get any extra benefits from taking it half an hour before training or anything like that. It just needs to be in your system. And the electrolyte tablets will help with hydration. But when you train, you sweat, okay? And you sweat out a lot of the good stuff as well. So this is to replenish things like sodium, magnesium, potassium, which will help you get better pumps in the gym. It'll give you better endurance, and it'll also stop your muscles from cramping. So that's why I take this one. Take them first thing in the morning, and then I'm good to go. Another one that I take way too regularly, because I'm addicted to, is a pre-workout. However, I do recommend it. It's much better just to drink a black coffee before training, because most of the benefits you get from a pre-workout is the caffeine, okay? There are some other things in there which will help you with muscle pumps, so things like citrulline malate. They give you focus, they give you a buzz when you get into the gym, but they're not so necessary. So pre-workouts can give you quite a lot of crashes during the day. I would recommend a black coffee. I'm just seriously addicted to these. They will give you good focus and that kind of I want to get into the gym feeling. So they can aid with training performance, but they're not an essential. Okay, that's an optional. The only other one that I take around training is a carb powder. And this is because I'll have breakfast first thing in the morning, and then I train 4 clients. Then I go to the gym. So I've gone 4 hours without eating. So for me, a carb powder, which I can either take sort of half an hour before training on the way to the gym or intra-workout, just make sure that I have enough energy in my system to push hard when I go and train, okay? It's not essential. You could replace that with a Lucozade Sport if you're happy with the calories and the sugar in that. Cyclic dextrin, which is what I take, has no sugar in it, which is why I take it. So even if I'm dieting, as long as it fits in my macros, I'd rather go for the no sugar approach. And I would imagine as well, this would be beneficial for someone who has an office job, who maybe has lunch, has to go to work in the afternoon, then straight to the gym. If you haven't eaten that hour and a half, 2 hours before training, something like this could be really beneficial to give you that bit of extra energy that you need when you're in there. Probably also would help someone who normally trains fasted and can't think of what breakfast to have before they go and train. But again, not essential, just something that helps me with my training because of my schedule. The next one that I take is omega-3s. So you don't want omega-369, just omega-3s. And this is good for your immune system, it's good for heart health, and it's good for your joints. Okay, if you're old like me, you want to protect your joints. My joints are actually pretty good, but I want to keep them that way. So omega-3s, I would say for me, are probably bordering on essential, but if you're eating oily fish 2 or 3 times a week, you don't really need them, okay? Something like salmon or, mackerel, sardines, there's omega-3s in like walnuts and avocado. So there are other sources, so not essential, but for me, I just want to make sure everything's in the right place. I train hard 5 days a week, with, put a lot of pressure through my joints. So for me, I do take omegas. Another one that I take is vitamin D, but I only take this for half of the year. So if, like me, you live in somewhere that's miserable for 6 months of the year, like England, then we don't see much sunlight, and we absorb vitamin D through the skin, through the sunlight, when the sun's out. So I would say if you're getting out in the sun for sort of 20 minutes to half an hour a day, you don't need these. However, between like October and March, I think they're a very good idea. And that is also backed now, I think, by the World Health Organization, who also recommend it. So it has got some backing behind it. So 6 months of the year, I take those. And then the last one I take is a ZMA tablet, which is zinc and magnesium, which helps reduce fatigue. I take these 30 to 60 minutes before bed, which is what it says on the packet, and it helps me get to sleep. So the magnesium in it helps me relax. I get to sleep better. I'm a terrible sleeper, and I stay asleep as well. So that's really beneficial for me. And the zinc in there also helps your natural levels of testosterone. I don't recommend taking test boosters. There's no backing behind them to say that they have any benefit whatsoever. They're, for me, a bit of a waste of money. So I do like to make sure though, by having zinc in there, it sort of balances my hormones, good for the immune system, and keeps my testosterone levels hopefully in a good place. So that's it. That's all the supplements that I take. I would say that only 2 on there are probably not essential, but 2 of them on there are the ones that I would really highly recommend, which is the whey protein, if your protein level isn't in the right place with food, and creatine monohydrate, providing you haven't got any pre-existing health issues. And I would say with all of these, double check with a dietitian or physician first. This is just my supplement stack. If you have any queries about anything that you're taking, research it, work it out for yourself. I'm not telling you to take anything. And I would also say, try the supplements for sort of 6 to 8 weeks, see if you get any benefits. And if you're not getting any benefits, then you've got a decision to make whether or not you want to carry on taking them. Personally, if I've taken a supplement for 8 weeks and I notice no difference, I'm going to stop, because you don't want to just take lots of things for the sake of it. And that's it. So hopefully you found this helpful. And if you did, drop a like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you back here soon.